So I used to bounce around all of these different little, not so long-term businesses like drop shipping, SMMA, even having my own gaming channel. And then I remember at the beginning specifically on my, self-improvement journey, or I guess you could say grinding journey, I used to try and sell plastic skateboards outside my doorstep. Now, me telling you all of these things of doing my dropshipping store, making multiple different websites with products that I didn't truly believe in, going through SMMA, making a whole onboarding funnel with a bunch of different videos, like welcoming the customer that I didn't even bother to outreach. I didn't bother to send out any emails, any DMs. I was scared of getting on a sales call. The point of me telling you all of this is there's definitely a lot more details I could tell you from business to business, but the main thing here is I've learned a lot from all of these pursuits. I've learned so much. Now I know you've clicked on this video to learn one thing that will explode your motivation. I'll tell you that in a bit, but you have to listen to this bit. If you don't want to, you can skip ahead, but some of the things I've learned from all of these little pursuits. So specifically from dropshipping, I think I learned how to do website design, how to use Canva. But even this mic that isn't on camera anymore, but if you see my previous videos, there will be like a giant mic here. And I literally went through hours and hours of research to get that specifically for my gaming channel. And so all of these pursuits, one thing that's bad about them is that you don't really have a narrowed down job that you can solitary focus on. You always have this background thought of, oh shit, is it this business that's actually gonna work this time? Am I gonna have to switch businesses again? That is a fucking terrible thought. And I know Iman Gaji gives you the advice of focus on practicality first. Focus on learning the key skills, whether you enjoy it or not. You're focusing on learning the high level skills that will get you better results in the future. Sure, go ahead with that. I 100% agree. High level skills are very, very useful, but if you just go ahead and work on the business right now, work. Let's say you're doing a drop shipping store, work, and you fail it. You're disappointed. You're like, oh, what the fuck? What am I doing with my life? Guess what? You've learned so many things from this drop shipping thing. You've learned how to run ads on Facebook. You've learned how to make multiple stores on Shopify. You've learned how to write basic copywriting. But the whole point of this video is to tell you that it is okay to stick with one business that you really, really enjoy and you know for a fact is going to bring insane results in the future. If you don't know this phrase from Gary Vee, it's called jab, 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 right hook. And that what that means is, I guess you could say you're enjoying the job, you keep on going at it, you keep on giving value, give value, and then you right hook them with the offer. I remember when I used to have my dropshipping business and, SMMA, sure, it was you got the feeling of accomplishment, right? After a day's work, you got that dopamine in your head, feeling like you're successful, whatever, right? You get that feeling. But something is off. At the end of the day, you notice that, I'm gonna go ahead and watch a little bit of anime because I'm a little bit tired today. I'm gonna type P in my browser. That means that your business isn't really fulfilling you. It isn't really a thing that goes deep into your soul and you really, really get fulfilled by it. If you enjoy your job, it is good. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying enjoy it as in it's my passion. I'm gonna paint for a living. No. What I mean by enjoyed is fulfilled. It's a whole different thing, and it's very hard to explain and articulate if you haven't experienced it yourself. I'm not trying to put myself in a bigger position than you, but honestly, bro, I'm just trying to help you out. I'm just trying to give you this perception and tell you that maybe the business that you're doing right now isn't right for you. If you're still typing P on your browser, if you're still getting urges, if you're still watching anime or watching Netflix at the end of the day to relax, then you haven't found it, bro. I want to give you a quote from Alex Hormozy. I think he said something around, the man who loves to walk will always walk further than a man who's just walking for the goal. Now, this quote basically means that if you find a fulfilling and loving job, you will always outwork the guy who's just working for money. I know this is counter advice to everything you've heard from Andrew Tate. All of the finance people are saying, oh, do the work regardless and just get the money. Do the work for the money. But honestly, bro, I'll bring you another quote. Well, actually, it's not even a quote, but essentially, if you know the classic like work-life balance thing that they all say. If you can find work that you are fulfilled by and enjoy, do you not think that work-life balance would just be 100% work instead of 50% work and 50% life? If you find a work that you love so much that actually brings in money, don't forget that part, do you not think you would outcompete every single person that's just working for money? If you don't want to hear it from me, go ahead and search up Alex Hormozy or Hamza. I'm just telling you the facts, and I'm telling you my story, my personal story on how I got there. And honestly, bro, the tips I'm going to mention later, no one has ever told you how to practically go ahead and find your fulfilling work. So I really think there's some like true value in this video. So as I just covered back then, I realized I didn't tell you like the full thing for you to get. I now have 3 things. I'll just tell you straight off the bat what it is. 1, work. This work I've like narrowed down from everything. I've told you my process of bouncing from business to business. This one work, I found it and I fucking love it. It's so good, and it's one of those jobs where you make $1 million faster rather than make $1 faster. Do you get what I mean? Like, you know how you work what do you call it, 9-to-5 job, and you get the $1 faster, right? Rather than the entrepreneur. If you've ever seen this chart, right? Entrepreneur and like 9-to-5 guy. 9-to-5 guy is like this, and the reason it goes up is like little inflation countering pay rises, right? But the entrepreneurs is like this. I'm 100% sure that is how it works. It's like, to give you a real life example, it'd be Amazon probably. Like, the guy was working in a garage for years. You can literally just search up Amazon's like net worth chart or whatever. You'll see that it's literally just 0, and then explodes. So what I'm trying to say here is that this one work that I've like narrowed down, I truly believe it's one of those. I believe it's one of those where you work, explode with money. And that's often like what happens if you really have a like long-term type of business, not a drop shipping store, because drop shipping store, it's more like 9-to-5 graft, to be honest. And I hope all of this is making sense, by the way. If it's not, then feel free to comment down any questions. I'll reply to them. Now, the second thing I've narrowed down to is family. And I know this video is supposed to be specifically about work and like whatever, right? But this is very important. Family, and then it's health and fitness. Now, this is like basically a copy of Hamza's 3 essential things. If you don't know what I'm doing here, like the narrowing thing down, it's a book called Essentialism. I haven't actually read the book, but I've done some research on the guy. I've listened to the author's like podcast with I think Chris Williamson, and so he tells you to really like write a giant list of all the things that like you're currently doing. If you're going surfing, if you're playing piano, like all of this, it's not essential. If you really narrow it down, honestly, if I tell you to narrow something down or narrow everything in your life down, it sounds terrible, doesn't it? It sounds like it's the opposite of being happy, like all of your pursuits. But no, if you think about it, the 3 things that make you most happy, you cut out everything else, you maximize these 3, would that not make you more happy? Now, I know obviously if you got oppressive parents like forcing you to do piano or like taking lessons or whatever, of course I get that, but really try to narrow it down to 3 or 4 things. ideally 3. If you can actually narrow it down to these 3 things, guess what will happen? You'll like experience this shift in your life. It's like having a superpower. It's like, you know, when Mario eats the fucking mushroom or whatever, right? He gets this superpower. It's like a permanent superpower. It's like your life is at 100 now. Boom. 150. That is how powerful this is. If you narrow it down, you'll find that it's so much easier to stick with the good habits and like stop the bad habits. Like, as soon as I narrowed it down to these 3, guess what? No more typing P. No more anime at the end of the day just to relax. Those were the 2 things. Like, I was already pretty deep in self-improvement, right? I already eliminated almost anything. All of the bad habits, but it was just those 2 stragglers keeping me behind. I narrowed it down. They were gone. The second I fucking narrowed it down, gone. And I think the whole reason behind it, like why this works, is if you have these 3 things that make you the most happy, the most fulfilling, why would you need a video game? Why would you need an anime to relax at the end of the day? This is your anime to relax at the end of the day. Now, I want to note that all of this is very, very weird because it all happened at a time of which I was entering like the religion place. I was taking my religion more seriously. I was taking Christianity more seriously. I was going to church more. I was making sure every Sunday, whether I wanted it or not, to go to Sunday Mass and go to worship God. So I really, really find it weird, and I'm assuming that it correlates. I don't know what I'm speaking from here, but this is all assumptions, right? I'm assuming I found God and he found me, and now he's like more aware of me. And so like every night I pray. So one can actually think that maybe, just maybe, God is now aware of me. And that's why he's got a plan, like bless me with perseverance, etc. Now, after telling you all of that, I'm sure you want some like actionable steps to write down and go ahead and do so. I'll go ahead and satisfy that urge. The first thing is to actually get a physical notebook or piece of paper and write down every single thing that you put your energy towards. So I really like this diagram. I wish I could show it on your camera. Like, if I can edit that in, that would be great. But essentially it's like a circle here, energy, and a singular arrow that's very, very long. That indicates your energy, like direction, right? And this might be work or something. And then this arrow has, I'm gonna go surfing, I'm gonna go piano, I'm gonna no. The guy with the single arrow will always win. And so once you've made that list of multiple things that you direct your energy towards, go ahead and like cross out all of the things that aren't essential, and ideally have 3 or 4. I really, really, really want you to try this because it's honestly been such a help. It's honestly like raised my serotonin levels on a daily basis. You know that like happy feeling after you've talked to a family member about some like very, very happy scene. Like you sort of had this happy feeling for a while, doesn't it? It's kind of like there, just ruminating there, and you're like constant like level of more happy than your normal self. Do you get what I mean? Like, this will literally happen to you if you narrow everything down. That is how powerful this is. I can't stress it to you enough, but it will only make sense once you've achieved it. So really, really try to cut them down and get 3 things. Number 2 is, I'm not trying to preach to you. I'm not trying to be a like Christian salesman that knocks on your door. Try to embrace your religion, whether that's your family's religion. Maybe you're like Muslim or Christian, and or like Buddhist. Your family does it, but then you're just like here failing your ancestors. Go ahead and worship the God with them for once. If you're Buddhist, go light the incense for dinner instead of having your grandmother do it. If you're Muslim, just join in with the prayers. I'm not one to tell you what to do, but just join in with your family, bro. If your family is religious, of course. But if they're not, go and find one, bro. Please, just it makes so much sense once you're in it. It's so deeply fulfilling, and again one of those things I can't really tell you how good it is until you've experienced it. I can't really articulate it through words. Number 3 is This is a very odd one, and I don't think anyone online's ever told you about this. Work on the relationship you have with your family, even if you think it's already good. Like, read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, and then I'll just tell you one of the principles that really helps me. Even for, bro, my relationship with my mum, she's a single parent, like working hard to raise me. Even though me and her, like, the bond is extremely close, guess what made it closer? Showing genuine appreciation for every time she cooks with you, or cooks for you. Every time she does something like that you can't do yourself, or you just find like a little bit too bothersome, and she like brings you food and makes like these drinks for you, and like just any time, like particularly when she's cooking, if your mum's like of Eastern culture, then just go ahead and shower her with praise. That's one of the things like that have made me significantly closer to her. And what that closeness brings you is, again, the three essential things: work, fitness and health, family. At least for me. Maybe yours is like, I don't know, friends, work, and then like surfing. I don't know, alright. And bonus benefit that you'll get from getting closer to your family: the better tasting the food is, the more food there is. Alright, bro. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you found immense value from this video. If you want to join my Discord server, it's honestly, there's like one person in there right now. You can join in there, and you can talk to me if you want, and in a bit, bro.